Good afternoon, America. We're back in the saddle again, and more toward what you're used to. But I am going to be taking a different approach. It's important. I think that it's important that we all look at this closely and take a different approach. Oh my God, I do not need these on. Hold on just a moment. There we go. Yep, just fine. Problem is I have both long and short sight problems. And because of that, when I'm working on leather, it's best for me to wear a pair of good, strong reading glasses. But every time else, I probably need both things. And now I can see a little bit distance, and I can see up close when I do that. So, I want to talk to you today a little differently than I have in the past, not completely differently. Because first thing, I wasn't going to do this. I was going to take a few days off. But that's not productive, and that's a big thing to me. Another thing that has to do with that is inspiration. And John Britovo has gotten back in the saddle with what he's been through in the course of the last couple of months. There's no damned reason why I should be sitting on the sidelines, and I'm not gonna. So, I do want to talk today about, and I'm kind of talking to both sides here. I'm talking to us too. We're worrying about the wrong things. And on our side, we've been worrying about the wrong things for a little bit. That doesn't mean the things that we're concerned with shouldn't be concerned with. It means that we are not giving them, hello, Angie Barnes, somebody else here in Tennessee. But we're not giving the proper weight to quite the right things. And we had that exemplified and proven on Tuesday. First of all, I want to talk to us about some of the rhetoric. And I understand you get sick of being called names. You get sick of being called pedophiles. You get sick of being called communist. You get sick of being called a snowflake. You get sick of all of the stupid things that get said at you, and you strike back. I get it. I fully get it. Now, I'm not somebody to sit quietly by when I'm feeling slighted and insulted. But we're worrying too hard about things like that. The rhetoric is dangerous. It's just words, but it's dangerous. The name calling, when both sides are doing it, probably equally dangerous, and maybe more so. And I think we're thinking about things wrong. Let's first of all, let's take a look at Tuesday and the result. The very first thing that I am going to say to you is that Tuesday happened. It is, yes, we woke up to that. And that it surprised us. A lot of reasons that it surprised us. It shouldn't have surprised us, not that much. First of all, this is not, by any stretch of the imagination, the first time that America has fucked up. We've done it big in the past, and we will do it again. I think, quite honestly, that we did on Tuesday. America truly fucked up. But we're going to survive it. And if we're going to survive it, one of the things that I would point out to you in how you're going to think about all of this, we're going to survive this. What makes you think that he's going to survive the next 4 years of this? And I'm not talking about anybody doing anything to him. I'm not talking about any act of violence against him. I'm talking about just simple realities. First thing is, in his first term, which should have been his only term, but in his first term, he was twice impeached and managed to commit a whole shit ton of crimes that he has been arrested for, a bunch of which are now going to be washed away. The federal things, count on it. Oh, Angie, we are getting there. Count on it. It's who he is, it's what he does, and if you honestly think that he's not going to do more of it now, well, you're crazy. He's probably going to get himself arrested and impeached again. It's who he is. It's in his nature. That is, if he survives it physically. Guy has now been elected as he's set records. He's the oldest president we've ever elected. He's also the first time we've elected a full-scale felon as a president. Yeah, he seemed to get the popular vote this time, but I'm gonna tell you right now, he ain't all that popular. And it's only gonna take his first couple of fuck-ups to take him out, or his own body. His own body. The guy's the oldest president we've ever elected. Have you seen him? That fat pig is so out of shape. And I don't think he's gonna make it 4 years. And I won't mourn the loss. But there's more coming. And this is a thing that you can pretty readily count on. When he was in office, things were pretty good. You need to remember that he inherited an economy that was doing pretty damn well. He inherited that. And for a little while, he kept that rolling. But then he started to screw up. And by the end of his term, before COVID hit, we were already seeing economic indicators that were showing that, oh, wait a minute, we really have some shit on the horizon. And then COVID did hit, and we ended up with the full amount of shit on the horizon, more than we ever expected. He's going to tank the economy again. And like usual, when everything's said and done, it's going to be the Democrats that fix it. Not quick enough for a lot of people out there. Now we're going to get into the reasons why he was elected. We have a country that has gotten used to instant gratification. That's what they want. They always want it. Doesn't work that way. Even the best laid plans fall apart. I can speak to that right here, right now. Valerie and I did a thing that made our lives better, but and I'm just going to tell the truth about it. We also got scammed for $5,200, and we will probably never see that money again. So we're back to month. Things are going to be tight for the next several months for us. We know this. That's just how it's going to be. It's the same thing with the country. There are no quick solutions. There are no instant answers, and all too much of America is looking for that. That is a part of how he got voted back in. Somehow, this idea that the great businessman is going to fix everything for him, and it's going to happen overnight. There isn't going to be much that happens overnight, people. There's going to be very little that happens overnight. Now, we have all of these promises from the campaign trail that this on the very first day, which included only being a dictator for that one day. But, that isn't really what's going to happen. And as far as his survival as president, let's look who's standing in the wings. Do you think that silly, smarmy little couch fucker has got a chance of being able to run the country? He doesn't. And this is going to swing. Midterms, and now we lost the Senate. We very well may not win the House. So he's going to have a couple of years of a honeymoon with Congress. He's still going to be forced to look at realities. He's going to try to do things his way by executive order. how well did that work out for him the first time? Not very well at all. It hit the courts, and yes, there is a right-leaning court, a lot of which he got in there with the help of Mitch McConnell, that have also stood against him. Those guardrails are still there. They're shaky. They're definitely shaky, but they're there. So I'm not going to sit here and beat my chest and scream and cry and all of that. But beyond his tanking the economy and our fixing it, let's, and by the way, that statement, Obama after Bush, yup, straightened it out. By the way, Bush after Clinton, Bush fucked it up real big. Remember how good things were under Clinton as far as our economy goes? Bush fucked it up. Obama fixed it. 2020 came around. Things fell apart. Joe Biden got into office. The economy is now moving in the right direction and is, by the rest of the world's assessment, we have one of the best economies that the world could possibly hope for after everything we've been through. So he's inheriting that again, but he's going to fuck it up. But let's think about how he got there. He didn't get there because America loves him. He got there because this country is still entirely too patriarchal. He got there because there's still a lot of people that somehow feel a woman can't do the job. They're wrong. They're wrong. There are still a lot of people out there that didn't trust that particular woman. They're wrong. There are cracks in that glass ceiling, but that glass ceiling held. I don't know, maybe the country isn't ready for a female president, but you're wrong. That doesn't change the fact that you're wrong. One of the things that I would look at very clearly on that is how some of the vote came down and by whom. He got 60% of white women's vote. Now, we did not expect that. We thought that women's health issues were going to carry the day there. They did not. That has got to be thought about long and hard. And that's exactly what I'm saying to you, is a lot of the things that we think we understand, we don't understand. Women's health rights was not the issue that it should have been. We missed the boat on that one. And that's kind of what I'm talking about here. These are the ways that we screwed up. What did become a big part of this, and this is whether you like it or not, you have to look, now 60% of white women, why you did that, I don't know. I will speak a little bit about that in a minute, because there are ramifications for everything you do. But on the other side of that, there was a far higher turnout among Hispanic men and African American men. Now, the African American men did not vote as highly as they would have at another time, or in percentages that much higher for him. Now, African American women, they gave that guy the finger like you can't believe. Hispanic women, same thing. However, among Hispanic society, you have to remember, it's very patriarchal. It isn't just because, oh, well, they voted for a racist, they must be racist. That's not the case. They're not racist. They are, however, very patriarchal. It is the same thing among African American men. They are very patriarchal. That's still a part of it. And we cannot overlook these reasons. And these reasons are not, oh, he's a racist. Now, ladies, beyond the daughters of the Confederacy, when the hell are you going to wake up? I mean, 60% of white women saw that as a good choice? That I don't understand. But I am trying to understand. I'm asking them why, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, except for one part of it. We're not listening. We, as Democrats, as Blue Dots, as liberals, we are not listening. The concerns that these people have are not exactly what you think they are. And you need to sit down and listen. If you want change, if you really want change, one of the very first things you're going to have to do is to be willing to understand what is bugging the other side. What are the things that they're concerned about? Because they're obviously not the same things that we are. So, isn't it time to learn what those things are? I think it is. If we're going to move forward, we damn well better. One of the things I know for sure, calling names isn't going to help. I've been guilty of it. I have been guilty of it. I was wrong. I was wrong. That does not help. Getting all pissed off and screaming that he's a Nazi, getting all pissed off that they must be Nazis because of it, screaming and yelling, he's a racist, you must be a racist because of it, that is not how it works. And it won't work. So there's a thing right there. Whether or not, it doesn't matter. Somebody has to make the first move that way. If it's our side and it works to finally get things a little more together, to finally get to where we're all looking at each other, I'll move first. I will tone down the rhetoric. Okay? Is that fair enough? I just realized one of the things that I did right there. Even there, just calling it the other side, it doesn't help. We're Americans. We are a very broad spectrum of people with different concerns across the board. And again, as I said, I'm going to go back to ours. But just saying the other side isn't really helpful either. You need to remember that this country has never been great for everyone. But we are still great. And our focus has to be being great for everyone. And that means the people that voted against us as well. Joe Biden said it very clearly. You can't consider yourself an American and only accept when you win. We didn't win. That's very important. Now, the first thing we have to do is stop the damned whining. That isn't going to help us. That is doing nothing but saying, oh, poor, pitiful me, and how bad things are for me. And that, we know who does the most of that. So we've got to stop that. We got to figure out what went wrong and fix it. Because that is who we are. We figure out what got fucked up and we fix it. I could go down through a list of everyday things. My tractor is out there working because I figured out what was wrong and I found a way to fix it. That's who we are. That's America. Now let's look at some of his claims. The whole what he's going to do on day one. First of all, try to be a dictator. Remember that. Yeah, he said it. He really said it. He meant it. And he is going to try for that. But I don't see that working. That dictator shit ain't going to hold. First reason for that. Let's look at the mass deportations. 1 million people on day one. Tell me how you're going to do that. How much is that going to cost? What are the resources that are going to be required to do that? By the way, when you do that, okay, you may instill a little fear in people, and maybe fewer people will be trying to come. Have any idea what the economic impact of not having those migrants here to do the jobs that you don't want to, that Americans don't want to do? Have you looked at that closely? One of the other things, day one, the January 6th insurrectionists. You can say it wasn't that all you want. 100-something police officers injured one way or another, beaten by Trump flags, blue line flags, all this other shit. Call it what you will, it was an insurrection. But he's going to free all those people on day one. I would hope that he doesn't do that. Because what is the message that's sending? We already know some of what that message is from some of the people who have been out there. It is just going to embolden more violence in this country. America's not going to take that for a very long time. They're just not. Now, could it lead to a civil war? Yeah, I guess it could. Do I think it will? No, I don't think it will. What will happen, however, is it will embolden and make more of this hateful rhetoric come to the fore. That's not good for us. What you've done, if you do that, is endorsed homegrown terrorists. Now, I want to back up to a thing. The pain in America right now, which is a big part of why this man got reelected. People are still hurting day to day, their pocketbooks, day to day. One of the analogies that's coming out there from the more progressive Blue Dot side is you traded your women's rights for a dozen eggs. There's some truth in that. I don't care how you want to frame all of this. One of the things that is happening right now online, and we already know who this asshole is. He's a white nationalist. Nick Fuentes. Big laughing post. Your body, my choice. And he is putting that out there, and young men who have been hiding that sentiment are repeating it. They are. Internet right now is abuzz with that shit. I've had in my own family, someone posted a thing about abortion rights, stating, and what the way they framed it was that women that are upset about abortion rights, rather than looking at it as a health issue, as well, you spread your legs, and now you just don't want to be responsible. That's not the case. But what has happened in this vote and turning away from the importance of women's health and women's rights has emboldened young men, especially young men of the worst kind, to say, your body, my choice. One of the things that is going to come of this, there are going to be a lot, and I need you to think about this, those that you voted for him, those of you that voted for him. If you think that your daughter is safer now, no, that is not the case. That is not the case. I hope that little Susie goes to junior prom this year and comes home safe and sound. But you've emboldened some people that have made that more of a danger. This all has ramifications. You've emboldened someone who that you think your pocketbook hurts right now, and oh, he's going to straighten it out. First of all, that ain't happening overnight. Secondarily, my bet is he's going to fuck it up royally. And you're going to be hurting even worse in a very short amount of time. I still want to know all the reasons why. But some of the ones that I've been given, they don't hold water. There have been some that I've been given that do. Okay, I see your point. I don't agree with you. I don't think that's how it's going to turn out. But I see where you're coming from on it. I do want to see more of where you're coming from, and that's on us. We have got to open our ears, open our minds, and realize this man did not get elected in a vacuum. We've got to fix the things that allowed this to happen again. That's going to be my focus. I hope that that's your focus. In the meantime, hold on, people. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I love you, America. Share this shit.